From very early on, Destiny had a completely different route for the characters we play. We would have been Guardians, yes, but the Traveler would have been evil, the Stranger would have been partnered with Osiris, and the Crow would have turned out to be what was Aldrin Sov. But even though Destiny's story got a huge revamp back in 2013, that doesn't necessarily mean those elements have completely disappeared. Today we're going to discuss the possibility of our Guardian becoming a villain, or at least changing the way we do business and turning to the darker side of things. Let's get right into it.
We've gone from continuing to make Halo games to doing something which certainly draws on our past experiences and plays to our strengths, but it's new and exciting. It's going to take on a life of its own.
We didn't even know how big Halo was going to get. How can anything be bigger than Halo? We'll find out.
Alright everyone, welcome back, and I hope you are ready to jump right into this because it's definitely going to be a spicy one. Now let me first preface this by saying most of it is speculation and is totally for fun. I'm not Bungie, you're not Bungie, and we have no idea what they're going to do, but it's always nice to try and put the puzzle together without the guidance. So if you enjoy theories around Destiny and its story, definitely be sure to stick around till the end. At this point here in 2019, we know that Destiny had a completely different story back in 2013. Here we learn that writers presented what they called a supercut presentation to the higher-ups at Bungie. They decided things needed to take a different turn and they didn't really like where the story was going.
I mean, it was really angry, sassy, tempestuous pirate woman. And the powers that be analyzed and reanalyzed and decided this was not where this game was going. And there was a big break. And then after a long gap, we came back in and we're sitting around a table, and it was I was very intimidated, a bunch of people I didn't recognize, and this is the new story.
Now, Kotaku's Jason Schreier wrote a beautiful article on this back in 2017, but let's read just a little bit of this to give you an idea of what the original story was for the game. He says the Supercuts version revolved around the player's hunt for the Warmind Rasputin. So it turns out Rasputin, the Warmind we all know and love, was kidnapped and taken to the Dreadnought. In the game's campaign, we were supposed to go there, rescue him, but that was scrapped and moved to the Taken King, minus the whole Rasputin part. Oh yeah, and in this version we would learn that he was an Exo, this one right here, and in a later DLC they would tell us that he was a Warmind all along, just puppeting this Exo. Pretty crazy. If you followed the game since before it came out, you probably also remember this cutscene with Aldrin Sov with a different voice in the Cosmodrome.
Why is the city breathing down my neck?
Why don't you put that down so we can talk?
Out here in the wild, this is how we talk.
In this version of the story, we believe that he was called the Crow, and he would have taken on a much different role. Now, he still has the Crows, the surveillance devices in Destiny now, or did when he was previously alive, but his name would have been the Crow back then. Other than that, from Schreier's post, we don't know much from the Crow character, besides this little clip from the Pathways Out of Darkness Vidoc that says help the Crow loot the Academy archive on Venus. According to a deleted Reddit post, a guy claims he was part of internal tests back when the game was in development, and he definitely has some pretty juicy information. Again, this all could be fake, could be nothing, but most major companies and journal outlets have covered this story as well, and here's what the guy said. Allegedly, the original idea for Destiny was to focus around a different character, the Crow, who was introduced early on in the story in place of the Exo Stranger. The story then takes an unexpected turn. After being abducted on Earth by the Crow's group, which comprises of former Ghostless Guardians, the player learns that there is something wrong with one of the group's senior members, the Speaker. What would cause the Speaker to leave the tower and join the Crow and his band of former Guardians? Well, according to the poster, the Traveler, the person responsible for stopping the darkness, is also the cause of the darkness. In this version, the Traveler transports the darkness to Earth with him, bringing on the Collapse and the Golden Age, infecting Earth's technology to a point where it nearly wipes out all of humankind. So again, that could be a load of crap there, but the point I'm trying to make is the line about the Traveler being a cause of the darkness and the Guardians sort of serving the evil side. Now this isn't anything new. I'm not making this video to say, hey, the Guardians are evil because we know it, this is the evidence. No. But just in the last couple of days, I had this question pop up in my mind. Has the original Destiny story really changed, or are we just left in the dark on that info until sometime later? Well, to try and answer that question, let's take a look at our own Guardian's journey up to this point. So here's a list of some of the triumphs and so-called evils that we have slain.
So, think you can kill a god?
Don't think I have a choice.
We have things like the Black Heart, Crota son of Oryx, Skolas, Oryx, Siva and the Splicers, Gaul, Panoptes, Zol, and Aldrin and his Scorn. Now those are just some of the most notable names. With some of these it made sense, right? We needed to destroy the Black Heart to restore the Traveler, we needed to stop Oryx from invading the system, and Gaul was going to blow up the frickin' sun. But when this narrative begins to shift a little bit in my head and turns more towards madness had to be when Forsaken launched. So from our perspective, we are the hero, right? We've slain countless gods to protect humanity and the city. But think about it from the other alien perspectives, like the Fallen and the Vex's point of view. The Fallen, of course, are just like us. The Traveler is once at their home world and they're just trying to survive now as they have nothing left and they just scavenge. Next to that, you have the Vex, whose goal is to find a timeline where only they remain, and the same as the Fallen, where they can survive. But thinking about that from the Vex's point of view, they don't attack humanity head-on, so to speak. It's not like they're invading Earth like Gaul was to destroy us, it just happened that we needed to end threats like them because they would eradicate us if we did nothing. So those species and races are trying to survive, but it makes some sense why we would need to stop them. Then we fast forward to Forsaken and things kind of go off the rails. In Forsaken, Kate 6 dies. Zavala doesn't want us to enter the Reef, but we do.
We will mount the head of that son of a bitch on his precious throne. For our fire team. For Cade.
No,
What did you say?
we are not an army. We are not conquerors. We are guardians. We need to keep our eyes here. On our home, our people, the Traveler. I refuse to bury any more friends.
You won't have to. Aldrin Sov is mine.
We then sent a bounty on Aldrin's head, going behind the Vanguard's orders to satisfy our need for vengeance. Aldrin and his Scorn were a threat, but it's not like they were going to destroy our sun, right? It wasn't that major. Next, you have the whole Dredgen thing. Drifter shows up, we play his little game of Gambit to bank those motes of darkness, making his people stronger and forging weapons of sorrow. Now you know what I mean, malfeasance, but probably another weapon of sorrow next month with Thorn. So with the Forsaken stuff, what I'm trying to say is we are choosing to head down Forsaken's dark path and become something new using both light and dark. It's kind of weird when you play the Fanatic Strike and he says something along the lines of, "You're just a dead thing, killing dead things endlessly." I don't know, I'll play the clip right here.
Lycris, all slaughtered by you. I scorn perfect for killing you to end your reign of terror. They die, I live always.
And when you think about it, he's kind of right. Although he was the bad guy and we stopped him, that's exactly what we are. So I guess in summary, all this time our Guardian has been growing stronger and stronger, but our goals have sort of teetered off to the side. We didn't need to take part in Gambit, but we did, and we got involved with its dark secrets. We didn't need to kill Aldrin, but we wanted to, and we see how that turned out. Now, to sort of add to the fun here, I was searching online for information about villains. Some of you may know about the hero's journey, which states everything a character can experience to be categorized as a hero. Things like going through a downfall, coming back and stopping the villain, and so on. But when searching for information surrounded just around villains, I found this article right here from Mythcreants, hopefully I said that right. It's titled, Transform a Hero into a Villain in 7 Steps. So I realize our Guardian might just be testing the dark side and not necessarily becoming the bad guy. I mean, it makes total sense why we wouldn't, but let's just take a look at this anyway for fun. The first step says pick a flaw, and you got arrogance, wrath, obsession, and hatred. Now the one that stood out to me here the most has to be the first one, arrogance. It says your character is overconfident or self-righteous, refusing to listen to others or learn from them. Now I know that's a little bit off the deep end, but that sounds kind of like our character in Forsaken. Zavala is telling us, hey, we shouldn't do this, we don't need to worry about the reef, just let him go, but our Guardian's like, nah, I'm taking this into my own hands, I'm overconfident, and I'm gonna get this job done. Now I'm not going to go into all these, you can read it if you'd like, you can find the website for yourself, but the second one is create positive influence, the third one is make tragedy strike, so possibly when Cade 6 died. 4, depict a wrong yet reasonable response, so the same thing again with Cade 6. The decision may have been wrong, we didn't need to kill Aldrin, but it was reasonable and we can see why we did it. Then you have 5 and 6, 5 is punish the character for their poor choice, and 6 is rinse and repeat. So I'm not going to dive into that too much, just thought that was a cool article and wanted to throw it in there talking about all this stuff with our Guardian. So are Guardians turning down a darker path for Destiny 3, or will we fuse both light and dark elements together to become triumphant once more? And some of you may remember those Reddit leaks from Anon the 9. This was the guy that leaked things like the Thunderlord, said Europa was going to be a location in the future and all of that. Well, back when his account was still around and he posted stuff, he said Destiny 3 will involve the use of darkness classes or subclasses, but who knows. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. It's always fun to stray away from straight lore and discuss opinions and theories together. Let me know down below how you think all of this is going to play out, and I thank you very much for watching. Anyway, my name is Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.